The men of Rohan stand alongside the elves of Lothlorien here at Helm's Deep, as once again the last alliance of men and elves unite together to face the armies of evil. And today's armies of evil are, of course, Isengard with their 10,000 orcs and Uruk-hai. I'm excited to see how this one goes down, and it's going to be an excellent one, I am sure. We are finally here with another Helm's Deep battle for you today, and we do have, of course, the new Elves of Lothlorien, which we will be checking out in this siege battle as well. We do have Haldir here, who does fall in the film at Helm's Deep, and we'll see what happens to him here again. But yes, we have the elves defending the walls here, the deeping wall. And they're already letting loose some volleys. They can fire an incredible distance, can these elves. And they'll be picking off Uruks left, right, and centre, I am sure. But yes, I'm very excited to see how this one goes down. It is being fought at night as well. So, keeping with that sort of like movie lore that they're all at night, you know. And we have the elves and the elves and men fighting alongside each other. Yeah, look at this Uruk Raider here, already getting focused down. It's down to 100 and, well, less than 100 now. Already, it was started at 190. It's got less than that now. It's down to 78, and it's probably not going to get to the wall. I imagine these like elves are focusing them down. They are doing an excellent job, that is for sure. I mean, the Uruks are rushing along this wall. Like, there's a whole line of ladders here. They can't stop them all, but they can at least take a couple out. And there's one. And they're going to try and, I imagine, try and take another one, or maybe another two out before they get to the wall. Behind them coming up are the archers and crossbows, maybe to try and suppress the archers on the wall. And yeah, already like an Uruk infantry over here as well, also pretty banged up. The elves do have obviously support. They have the men of Rohan here today, and they have their mustard archers and various other units on the wall over here. We've got some yeomen of the mark here as well. They're firing fire arrows actually, which I guess is pretty cinematic and pretty cool. We've also got Guard of the Golden Hall back here, and Theoden is obviously in the keep, waiting to make a last stand if he has to, but he's not alone. The men of Rohan, the Rohirrim, are awaiting, led by Emir here. They are on their way. Gandalf has found them, and they are, yes, getting ever closer to Helm's Deep to aid the men of Rohan. So yeah, these guys will be activated once the Uruks have like got inside the walls a little bit. So then like the Uruks are being attacked on two fronts, both from behind and also from the front, when they have to deal with the cav as well. But as you can see here, it looks like they're going to get their elven archers off the walls. It's not a bad idea, but they need to put stuff onto the walls to now challenge the Uruks. They need to put their shock infantry. They've got a lot of Galadriel sword warriors back here that are just being kept in reserve. So they need to get these guys onto the wall. This is actually our second attempt at doing Helm's Deep. We tried to do it we did it once. Everyone crashed. So this was our second attempt. So yeah, thank you to everyone that took part in the siege, because it did take a fair amount of time and a lot of, like, you know, effort to get it done. But it is always a fun one to do, Helm's Deep, at the end of the day. Look at that. If you zoom in, it looks like they're just climbing over nothing. These Uruks. How are they doing this? I mean, I guess you could climb over a wall. You don't necessarily need a ladder. It would just take a lot more effort. We've got Uruk-hai infantry and some, I imagine this is more Uruk-hai infantry here, yeah, landing on the wall, and they are getting ready, and they're probably going to be taking on some mustard axes down here. As you know, the Rohan armies at this point isn't exactly too professional. They just fight it like most of them are just like conscripted men and like kids. You often see, like, in the movie, you see like that kid that gets like handed an axe and he's like, oh my gosh, what is this? But yeah, as you can see, Uruk's getting focused down already. I'll try and get the right angle so we get it as light as possible, because we are fighting at night, which does have its pros and cons. It looks very cinematic, but it also makes it much more difficult to see the Uruks. They are down there fighting against these sword thanes. By the looks of it, they're getting focused down as well by mustard archers, I believe, up here. Yeah, these mustard archers are putting some volleys into them, doing some nice work down there. We have the Uruks as well fighting down here. Uruk-hai raiders going into some lower tier infantry, taking on the fight against these mustard axes, making it a little bit more of an even fight, I guess. But even still, I think the raiders should break through these farmers with axes. But yes, if you're enjoying the Dawnless Days action and would like to see some more epic sieges like this one here, then do remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and the comment shows support. It really does help out the channel. And yes, if you want to send in your own Dawnless Days replays as well with the new update, feel free to join my Discord. That is the best place to send them in. But yeah, you can see Uruk-hai Raiders, they're winning already. And it looks like, I think there's some more Raiders in fact actually going in. Yeah, in fact they are, more Raiders going in. We've got all the mainline infantry just waiting up here temporarily. I guess waiting. There's sword things on it ready to be take out as well. There's also a breach in the wall being formed here. 85%. There is an artillery piece that's doing the job. There are sappers as well. We were going to bring up sappers to help like do damage to the wall, but we were quite worried that the Elven Archers were just going to focus them down and take them out. So we thought we'd save them for maybe something a little bit more spicy. The Uruks, yeah, really pushing back over here. These mustard axes are starting to die pretty easily. They're going to need some reinforcements. There's plenty of Rohirrim reinforcements back there ready to get stuck in there. We've got axe thanes. We've got some sword thanes as well. Some, yeah, more elite troops ready to go in. It looks like we've got mustard axes and sword thanes over there being sent up onto the walls to deal with these Uruk-hai infantry. Yeah, battling on the wall here they go. I mean, with the support of the archers, this sword thing should be able to hold for a fair amount of time, kill a fair few of these Uruks. Gotta aim for their neck. It's where their armor's weakest. That's what Legolas would say. We should have had this battle be marked at the start, marked by having like the old man just firing his random like arrow. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have fired my arrow." Kills an Uruk, so you can't complain really. It might be the only Uruk he killed that night. Probably not. If he's an archer, there was like a sea of Uruks out here. You couldn't miss anything. But yeah, it looks like they've got a decent amount of reserves. I mean, they've got Erling Retainers, which is more like more well-trained swords back here. They've got Garrison of the Hornburg, of course they have. I mean, they are named after this citadel, so I mean, you've got to bring the Garrison of the Hornburg. I think they've got a couple of units of those, and yeah, they're ready to stop any assault up this way. They are preparing an assault up the ramp as well. We've got White Hand Stormers here. We've got a lot of half-orc axes and berserkers by the looks of it that are getting ready for an assault up here. So they will be very, very vulnerable to archer fire with those shock units, that is for sure. Oh, looks like we're about to see a sapper in use. Oh, let's... battling with the walls as much as I am battling against, well, the men of Rohan, I guess. Because I was playing as the Isengard player, as one of the Isengard players in this one. With a bunch of my subs. There you go. They blow up the walls. They actually, funnily enough, didn't blow themselves all up. Oh, actually, maybe they did. No, okay. Maybe like 2 guys got out there alive. But that was still impressive. And there's archers there need to be careful as well. They nearly lost a bunch of troops. We now have crossbows as well. They're going to make a dash for this wall here as well. We were using these ladders because it's a bit more like, again, like... I shouldn't zoom in. A bit more like historical. We were like, you know, use ladders instead of siege towers. There weren't any of those there. But they only actually made pathfinding a bit more difficult. Galadrim Sword Warriors up here, now battling down here. So we've got shock infantry fighting down here. I mean, this is kind of what they did in the movies, I guess. They did kind of fight at the bottom of the deep wall with their shock. They are the problem is for these shock infantry, they're doing a good amount of damage. They are being killed off by crossbows here, which have a good angle down there into the elven shock, in fact. But yeah, a lot of infantry being chewed up here. I mean, I'm onto my like second wave of infantry already going in. I'm getting slightly chewed up. The elves were taking out some very key units there for the elves, which is good to see. And now here comes the absolute spam of infantry going into the Galadrim Spear Warriors. It is going to be a tough fight here for the orcs. They've got to just try and batter through a halberd line and hope that their archers can also support them a decent amount. Seems like they've been doing some damage on this side. 89 of them are still alive, but they have lost a couple. Some people have regarded this polearm now as the best polearm in the game. I don't know whether that's really true. I don't know if I'd call them the best. I think they're pretty good. I mean, you've got the Fountain Guard, which are now a polearm unit, and you've got Noldorian Nobles, which are always a solid unit, and Tomb Wardens. Your Galadrim sword warriors up here, they're just chewing up any like orcs that come over this wall, or should I say Uruks? Because as Gimli says, these are no mindless orcs, these are Urukai, bred for war. Their armor's thick, etc., etc. I forgot what else he says now, but yeah, the Uruks, though they might have thick armor, it seems like the Galadrim sword warriors are carving through it pretty easy over there. We've got some mustard spears as well supporting this line here. So both men and elves fighting side by side here in this breach point. And then, like this moment in time as well, you'd have like Gimli like just diving into like this breach point when that's what happened. I'm pretty sure when when the pikes came through, Gimli like dives down. Surprisingly, he doesn't get speared, and then Aragorn has to go in and like save his ass. Galadrim spear warriors are starting to lose it because they've got the crossbows up here on the wall. This is the problem. I was thinking last time we did this, we had the elven player was defending the walls with his shock infantry, and it made it much more difficult for the Uruks to actually get a bridgehead onto the walls. He has done it a little bit over here. There are Galadrim sword warriors on the wall. They are carving up some Uruks, but it certainly isn't the same amount and like as great effect. In fairness, we did like in the redo, which is this one, we did reduce the number of elves because they were gunning like the Uruks down. The poor Uruks just like did not have a fun time. So there were some alterations in fairness. But over here, yeah, they're actually like chewing up the Uruks. They're doing a great job here at the defenders, and this is because they're obviously nearest to the wall here. So Rohan can easily support them here. And it looks like the ramp assault has also started. It's assault. As you can see here, the Wyand Stormers are coming up this ramp, and it looks like the Garrison of the Hornburg just keep firing at them. Don't know if that's really a smart idea. They are a pretty heavily armored unit. I wouldn't be focusing them down just yet. And we have Grenadiers in here. I don't know if that was a mistake or they are going to get used, but they will now be the main focus, I imagine, of any archer fire from the elves and the men of Rohan. You need to be careful of those guys. As you can see down here, the elves still battling away. But yes, if you want to try out the Helm's Deep map as well, and you want to make your own Helm's Deep scenarios, then I'll leave the link for the Helm's Deep map that we used in the description. It is on the Steam Workshop, really easy to install. And if you haven't got Dawnless Days as well, and you're wanting to check that out and play it, then I'll also leave that in the description. But my gosh, you should have Dawnless Days at this point. It's an amazing mod, really is. Like, hats off to the modders. They've done an amazing job in like bringing Lord of the Rings to a total war. The elves up here still carving through these Uruks though. I think they've routed them yet. I like how they just kind of stay on the wall for a minute when they like rout. They're like, oh yeah, don't mind us, and they're just gonna cut down these guys. I mean, the elves are getting good kills. We can't see it, but they are actually getting some solid kills. I mean, you'd expect so. I mean, the Uruks started with 11,000 men. They're down to 9,500. The defenders have lost about 1,600, which is more than they probably wanted to. But I think we certainly like the team Isengard, we like improved massively on our strategy from the first siege as well, which was an advantage, I guess, for us and a disadvantage for the defenders. We made a lot of mistakes, I think, in the first one. But yeah, the crossbows up on the wall, big bonus now. I mean, getting them into play, they're going to be so useful. Galadrim bow warriors down here losing his sword thanes as well. And that was one of the rules as well, is that the elves can't retreat to the like the next level, because it's kind of like in the movies. They kind of just fight and die at the walls. So we're kind of like recreating that. Haldir's still alive, by the way. He's not actually gone into a fight yet, which is actually a shame. He is actually pretty good in melee, but whether he wants to take on any of these heavily armored units, I do not know. We have got another sapper here that look like is this going to go off? No, these are all walls are indestructible. They can't blow up these walls. If they tried their very hardest. This one over here, though, they could. But there are a lot of crossbows nearby, so I don't know if it's really worth it. But yeah, it looks like the elves are just about going to hang on for a little longer, but the Uruks are breaking through. That is very clear to see, but they're going to hold on in some areas. These elven archers actually getting onto the wall now. And we've got a final line of axe stains here, holding back the Uruks, or some half-orc spears here that are coming in to do the job. And apparently Urukai infantry's got a debuff, which I didn't know about, but apparently they have. And it was kind of a little evident in this siege battle, but certainly in the first one we did, very evident. But I also feel like that has a lot to do with Helm's Deep being a really tough siege map to assault. I feel like any faction would find it really difficult. And here we go, the cavalry's on the way. So Éomer is now on his way. At this point we were like, yeah, we need to allow the riders of Rohan to come in and do some damage, because we're starting to get inside here. Hald is in fact breaking. He's about to fall by the looks of it here. So yeah, I think he's been focused down by crossbows and by archers, I'm not really sure. There's actually in fact cavalry in here. We've got Dunlending horse like raiders in here. They need to be careful. Because really they should be outside. They might want to try and slow down some of this cavalry that's about to just go flying on into Urukai infantry. We've got a general out here that needs to be careful, and berserkers. There's a catapult with some ammo left still as well. So the cav could get some really big kills, some really big like scores here. And there's still a lot of infantry outside. There's a lot of pikes though as well, so they do need to try and navigate them. But yeah, we'll see what they go for in a moment. I mean, we're also bringing up our own crossbows, trying to shoot them. If they're going to stand still, we'll shoot them. But here we go. Looks like we're going to see a cavalry charge here from Riders of Rohan. And in they go, flying on in. It's not a bad charge. Riders of Rohan won't lose any men, but the White Stormers might. It's very heavy against a heavy. The cav should do pretty well, to be honest. I mean, just takes us a hot second. There you go. Yeah, White Stormers losing decisively. We've got Éomer here looking for a charge immediately. He could take out all these berserkers if he wanted to. This is a really big score if he gets these guys. These are very, very elite shock infantry. And there's another one here that's just stuck on ladders as I'm like trying not to sneeze. You can see things are now rushing for the breach point. They're trying to get in, but the thing is, actually, pathfinding was being a pain. And look, these archers are actually going up through the up over the ladder, just to make it a bit more annoying for us. They refused to use this breach point for some reason now that the ladders were up. I don't know what was going on. Like I said, pathfinding was a nightmare in this one, and that's a dead White Storm if I've ever seen one. We've got another one, another Urukin infantry out here that's just like chasing cav. Not a good idea. But these are mindless. They aren't quite mindless orcs, but I guess they still lust for blood. But yeah, they're about to get like hammer and anviled here. These Arid of the East Vultures charge in. They can probably just wipe these guys out. There you go. In go the Uruks. The Rise of Rohan, they need to get a decent charge off. I don't know if they will, because they look like they got stuck on like a couple of Uruks there. In they go. Mop them up, boys. I mean, that's a decent rear charge. I mean, if the Arid could get another charge into the other side of them, they'd probably rout that unit pretty easily. A lot of cav over here, and they've routed another archer unit here with full ammo. That's a big loss there. Because archers are going to be much more useful as the siege goes on, rather than crossbows. We've got Knights of the Mark as well over here, waiting to just take on these White Stormers. They should just smash these guys if possible. And you can see here, massive assault now by the orcs on this side. And we've got a Erling men-at-arms on either side, and the archers over here just going to fire down into all these orcs, and they'll do a lot of damage to these guys, I imagine. Even though it's shock infantry up against spears, these aren't great shock. I imagine they're going to just get absolutely murdered by the archers. Hopefully it's not too dark for you guys. I do apologize. I have whapped the brightness up as much as I can, but it's still not really like easy to see in some areas. But certainly the orcs are like the big problem. Berserkers down here fighting. Hopefully you can see them. And I know like YouTube sort of like lowers the quality up to slightly when it like uploads. So I can see them fairly clearly, but I don't know about you guys. You can look at this. Look at the like shock infantry desperately trying to get inside. We actually have Cav over here as well, relentlessly charging the White Stormers. No surprise there. I mean, they are just swords. They are vulnerable to a charge. You could just keep charging these guys head on. I mean, Knights of the House of Earl are going to do a good amount of damage here. There is a decent corner now being formed over here. The Cav was fairly slow, I feel like, in taking advantage of our predicament. And you can actually see, it looks like the Dawnless Horse Raiders is going to go over here. Going to try and javvy a Arid of the Eastfold here. They are a javvy Cav at the end of the day. Oh, they're going to get charged here. They're for sure going to get charged. Well, that's it. Yeah, they're going to Javi and then they're going to try and run away. The Javis will do a decent amount of damage to the Arid, killing a few there. Yep, I mean, they lost a decent amount of Dunland Cav, though, as well. And the might be able to go in for a charge on this general. This is a White Storm that is very much open. And you can see the crossbows as well. The crossbow bolts doing some damage on the wall from, like, behind here. But yeah, there's starting to be a gathering of Uruks inside the walls here. We made another assault as well onto the next line over here. We have Guard of the Golden Hall taking on Berserkers. So, two elite units fighting off against each other. I mean, the shock should overpower those spears eventually, but they might get archer support, which is... But the Berserkers are a good unit to take out because they are a light shock infantry, very vulnerable to archers. Even more so now that all shock and polearms have 0 missile block chance. And they're still holding on this wall. I think this is Elves. Yeah, Galadriel Bow Warriors and Sword Things still holding on this wall. Refusing to give any ground. They know that they'll be eaten by the orcs if they give in. Meat's back on the menu, boys. It's elven meat. Yeah, they're starting to waver now. They should break eventually. There's actually a lot of stuff up here. I think this is because of pathfinding. Everything was just jumping onto the walls. But yeah, there's actually a White Storm in general. I mean, he needs to be careful. He's going out a fair way out. I don't know who's firing at him. I think there's friendly fire from our crossbows. Because I don't know what's firing at him. There's archers like shooting nearby. And there's no enemy archers here. So that's got to be friendly fire shooting at the general. Oh, the Cav is going to get taken out. Yeah. Nice charge there from the Arid of the Westfold. They're going in. They're just going to take these guys out nice and easily there. And this is a good charge on the crossbows here. These crossbows are trying to support the Cav and the Riders of Rohan here, just going in here. They should flatten these crossbows. And there you go. I mean, yeah, the spears getting in now, trying to support that by half-orc spears here, going out to try and kill these guys. This is good counter, to be fair. This is a good unit to use. Like a medium spear against like heavy shock. They'll do a pretty decent amount of damage. Oh, artillery coming in. Trying to hit these Cav units. Oh, I think they narrowly missed there. That was unlucky. Cross was here losing. They really need to get the spears in this around this Riders of Rohan. I mean, it obviously leaves them vulnerable, but they could trap a whole Cav unit here, which is a big win. In you go, boys. Spear the Cav. And then we're going to see a rear charge here. Now, this is the problem, though. The Spears had this option. They can just rear charge a whole Cav unit, but they will get rear charged themselves. It's a risk, but it might be worth taking. We've got more crossbows out here. Getting charged. I think these are Arid of the Eastfold as well. Yeah, doing a decent amount of damage. They are slowly tightening this circle, though. More and more stuff is getting inside. I mean, what do the attacks have left? They have about 7,000 against 2,300. And they're certainly doing a good amount of damage over on this side here. They're actually routing everything over here. And berserkers, half-orcs, everything's going. There's actually cavalry pinning these guys in. Knights of the House of Earl here, yeah, just squeeze, and Knights of the Mark just squeeze these guys, forcing them back. Really well done here. This is a murder pot, this is. This really is. It's like just, I mean, for the garrison of Hornburg, we'll get it from their perspective. Actually, they can't even see what they're firing at. They're literally having to fire vertically down. But yeah, they are like, it's just like shooting fish in a barrel. It really is. The half-orcs desperately fighting on. They're like, please, we didn't mean it. Our Lord Saruman forces us to come and attack you.
Our men flee the field of battle.
Yeah, they are having a rough time in there, and a lot of routing units now. As you can see, yeah, half-orcs breaking here. It looks like the cav as well, just waiting patiently, and they'll go for another charge in a moment. But now this is going to be the tough bit, charging up this winding slope here. As you can see, the berserkers are starting to lose in this fight, and it's going to be a tough one.
Enemy units have returned to the battle. The men have thrown down their weapons and are fleeing.
And here come the pikes of Isengard, and they're going to try and force units back. I think you can see here we've actually got the Guard of the Golden Hall retreating. We've got an early retainer now going in, which is not a bad swap, but yeah, there's nothing really that Isengard has to worry about with these pikes. They've got maybe bar the archers, but they'll be running out of ammo soon, I would imagine. Oh, maybe not. This Yeoman of the Mark has full ammo, well, not full ammo, but 2/3 for sure. There's another garrison of Hornburg with healthy, and they have supply barrels which they can use. So yeah, they need to be extra cautious about with their pikes. Really, this is general here as well, really low actually, 84, 80, and he's dropping. Lots of units over here getting caught out though. Pikes over here trying to kill off these these fold. They need to be careful negotiating them. They got the artillery over here as well. The 100 crew that looks like it might be about to get swamped here. And there's spears and pikes over here getting taken out as well. So I mean, this is the problem though. Taking out these units for the cav, they are going to be tough to kill. And there you go, cav breaking. Yeah, and a lot of the cav now starting to die. But a pretty good charge, that is for sure. I mean, they've done a decent amount of damage to the cav. We'll have to have a look at the end and see how many kills they've got. Actually looks like this area of these sold here is gonna rout instead of the general, but they did do a decent charge into them, keeping that pressure. If they kill this general, that could do a lot of damage for morale, that is for sure. But I think most of the generals have got inside, that is for sure. They've got one white storm over there. I think anyway, there's 1, 2, 3. There is 4 generals. Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they got them all inside safely. That one pretty banged up though. And yeah, the pikes over here are starting to die now. I mean, this cav unit just charge head on into them. That's not a healthy idea. The Knights of the Mark, yeah, they're gonna die. The pikes here though, getting rear charged and just slowly chopped down by Knights of the House of Earl.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
And there you go. And we got another Uruk-hai pike on the way, and they're gonna try and just sandwich these Knights of the House of Earl. I think, yeah, that's rough to see. This pike, though, having to turn around at the last minute as the Knights of the Mark come in again, and they're getting speared. Oh, these pikes who turn on are like a sixpence. That is fair. I'd be upset if I was the Rohan player there. He just lost a lot of cav. But yeah, you can get the remaining cav out, and he can maybe try and get some rear charges, get around the back, get these crossbows. But this cav's so weak now, they're going to be so vulnerable to archer fire. He's still got some healthy cav over here. Knights House of Earl. Another Knights of the Mark. I haven't seen where Aemir is. Oh, he's still healthy, relatively healthy as well. And look at that. Yeah, they annihilate everything in the gate here. So really well done to Rohan. They're doing a pretty good job there. Actually taking out what looks like the last couple of berserkers here as well. Fight on, men! Send these Uruks back to whence they came. And now over on this side here, it looks like it's just a little bit of a lull in the fighting. Looks like they're just, I don't know what they're firing at actually. Good old crossbows and archers just shooting on early retainers here. Yeoman as well. I think they're firing onto the general, which will do some damage, but they're not going to kill him. It's a healthy unit. But here we go. Looks like we're going to see some weak units going up in a moment. Just like some Urukai infantry. Looks like some crossbows as well. Maybe chasing them up. I'm really not sure. There's actually a sword down here that just needs dealing with. Don't know what he's just doing here. I do apologize if I sound a little sniffly as well. I am pretty sure I'm coming down with a cold or something, which is perfect just before I'm going away. The best timing, of course. Oh, there you go. Those sword things just routed just at the sheer sight of the Uruks. So I do apologize. I'm trying to battle on through it and just get on with the video. But here we go. Uruks going in, taking on these early retainers. And this should be a little bit easier to see. This is very much more in the bright, open areas. There we go. The Uruks battling away. The Cav as well going in for another charge here. Oh, they've actually managed to find a shock infantry unit. A berserk as well. I think it's going for a ladder. I do remember it's doing this. I did say, oh, go for a ladder at some point. See if we can like mount the next layer of walls with the ladders. Because then if we can take the walls, then it should be much easier. Because fighting through these choke points is going to be a pain. Like fighting through these gates, it's going to be a pain. So I was like, imagine if we can land a ladder on this like tower here or something. And we were like, yeah, we might be able to. But yeah, the Isengard player was a little eager to send out his berserkers. I was like, there's still cav out there, dude. We need to send a pike and or a spear and a unit that's going to go and capture the ladder. But we just sent out the poor berserker and just got murdered. Poor guy. It's a sad way for him to go, really. But yeah, I mean, at least we can shoot the cav down. They're down to 1,300 defenders now against 5,000. It certainly is going to be a tough fight for Rohan. I mean, what can they do against such reckless hate? They just got to use their cav as effectively as possible while they still can. Kill what they can. The crossbows firing from the walls, just trying to weaken those Knights of the House of Earl. And it also looks like the Berserkers are, you know, taking that charge a bit better than they did the first time. There is 25 minutes left of this siege, so I hope you guys have still got some snacks and some drinks. Rohan has not long to hold out now. 25 minutes. Can they do it? Got archer fire coming in. Urukai archers here. Focusing down these units. Trying to help with the choke point fight here. I mean, the polearms, the pikes should be doing a decent job. But they're actually looking the wrong way. Turn around, pikes. The fight's in the other direction. You cowards. The early rotators holding their line here very well. Doing a good job, even though they're losing. Oh, we got grenadiers up here. Now this is code red for Rohan. These guys can clear out like defenses, and to be honest, they need archers. I mean, they've got like a tiny little mustard archer unit there. This garrison of the Hornburg here needs to be firing overtime into these White-Hand grenadiers, so they can do a lot of damage. Are we going to see a grenade volley now? Or are they going to wait? I think they're going to wait for these mustard archers and to come down. I'm not sure. Need to be careful though. Does Rohan? I mean, like I said, that unit could just wipe out everything here if it wanted to. Could take out a lot of its own Uruks though. They do need to be careful. They could cause their own like chain out here. There are a lot of wavering units for Isengard in that choke point. But yeah, the garrison of the Hornburg, they're actually moving off the wall. Oh, we got another one here as well with plenty of ammo as well. That's full ammo as well. Jeez. Yeah, they can focus down these grenadiers, make this fight much harder. And these garrison of the Hornburg, they'll fight very well in melee as well. Sappers over here, they're setting up. Are they going to try and blow up? I know that they can like just blow up again in a combat like this, but it's very dodgy. You can blow up a lot of your own men along with the enemy, so we'll see what happens. Looks like we're about to see some Guard of the Golden Hall come down. So we'll see what they can do. In they go, setting up. Oh, grenades! Oh boy! Oh, that's not good. They went from 120 to 65. So it was like half the unit in one volley. Will we see a second volley? I don't know. We've got the sappers moving up. They're gradually moving through the lines. I don't know how they're going to work. Let's see. I mean, he's right in the front line. We'll see. Are they going to try and blow up? Oh, they are exploding up, but they're just way in the back. So I don't know if it's really working. The fire going off, though, I think this is from either grenades or from the sappers. I'm not really sure. Well, that is one way to break through a choke point. You can see Yo in the mark there breaking. I think the sappers really just blowing up back here, which is kind of a shame because they're a bit dodgy in a choke point fight. We got the mustard archers there taking their position on the wall here, and now we got the garrison of the Hornburg. They're going to try and just focus down these grenadiers, do what damage they can. They just got a big blob they can hit into here, but yeah, they need to just hit these grenadiers as much as they can. Kill them. I mean, they're nearly through. These guards of the Golden Hall, though, are actually holding pretty well. I'm trying to block the archer fire with these Wyand Stormers to save the grenadiers, but the grenadiers seem like they're just moving backwards and forwards and they're actually touching archer volleys fairly effectively. They are losing the odd man, but it's actually been working quite well for them. So yeah, I mean, let's see, how many did they lose there? Like, not a man actually. They didn't lose a single Uruk. That worked very well. I think they're actually shooting my Stormers now, if anything.
The men have broken and are fleeing.
But yeah, they're still holding. I mean, very well done by Rohan to hold this gate over here for now. I mean, they've done a great job. Oh, there's another pike that just charged out the gate. Well, this is the one that rallied, maybe. But yeah, the Cav's still doing causing problems out here. Still killing Uruks. Maybe this rallied, and the Cav just has come to deal with it. I really don't know. Or maybe they were another foolish pike unit coming out to try and take a ladder. There's one much closer, guys. There's one just over there. Oh yeah, the berserkers are on this one. They need to get inside, guys. Get inside. You got your ladder, and now get up here, and we can take the wall maybe. But yeah, Aemir still mopping up some stuff, but his force that he set out with is very much depleted. The sappers have pulled through. They shouldn't really have done that, but they are dying pretty quickly. Hopefully they'll be dealt with pretty efficiently here by the early retainers. They are getting focused down, as we expected anyway. Oh, they did just blow up, though. And they killed a whole bunch of retainers along with themselves. Yeah, that is a deep, deep shame. Look at all the burning Rohirrim down there. Oh, jeez. They're using a lot of ammo now to kill this sapper. It's dead. It's out of ammo. Just save your ammo now. You're missing a lot of shots there. Yeah, back into the grenadiers. That's your best option. Got a health. Well, actually, no. This is still the same Guard of the Golden Hall down here. These guys hold forever. And they're holding against just so many Uruks. I mean, the pikes aren't even actually down properly. Something I think one of the Rohan players realised is that the pikes aren't going down, so they're not really that effective in this choke point. So I'm having to use brute force and swords to break through. And, well, and grenades. Swords and grenades. The Isengard way. We've got archers in here as well. Oh, everything's just being engaged at this point, I think. They're really trying to just focus stuff down there. We could shoot these berserkers as well if they wanted to. An even better, well, but I said even better target, but I don't think it is. These grenadiers are like army killers. They will kill a lot. But it looks like, yeah, it looks like Aemir did just randomly break. Oh yeah, this happened just moments ago, I think. Aemir and the rest of his army, which wasn't much, did just chain route. I also think that included a load of mustard archers and stuff like that. And a supply barrel, which is probably actually kind of more important than you think, because I don't know, unless they've used all the supply on it, that would have been extra shots for the archers here, these bowmen, these garrison the Hornburg. Yeah, he just randomly chain routed. We don't know what it was. Like, army losses haven't really come into effect yet because, well, Theoden's army's still here. And the cab points not been taken, and Aemir hadn't fallen either. So yeah, it was very confusing. as to what was going on. Guard of the Golden Hall, though, still down here, getting swamped by Uruks. They're nearly through. There's not enough, like, Rohirrim to hold back all these Uruks. But good to see they're not just pulling through. They could, like, with, like, the sheer numbers they have here, but good to see that they're not. Because, I mean, it's good because it's allowing these garrison of the Hornburg to focus these guys down. But also, it's just, you know, they're not cheating. The next line of defense is another garrison of the Golden Hall. Garrison of the Golden Hall. Guards of the Golden Hall. I have a feeling I called them that already once. And then early retainers as well. So some solid units being set up here. That is for sure. But yeah, this is where the like Helm's Deep goes from being like a really action-packed siege to being a really grindy one. So I'm interested to see what will happen when the Dawnless devs bring out their own Helm's Deep map, and they have pulled through now. In fact, this Guard of the Golden Hall is still alive. They can go the early retainers. They're going to go down, and they're going to try and carve out a little pathway to get back through to those Guard of the Golden Hall. It'll be a desperate assault. They can try their hardest. Yeah, I mean, this is a sea of Uruks on their way. How is this Guard of the Golden Hall not fallen yet? Morale is like a real issue. It should have died. Also, by the way, these like garrisons of the Hornburgs have earned a silver chevron. They weren't given that. They've earned that. That's incredible. I mean, the garrison of the Hornburg do get some incredible kills. I've set up some crossbows over here. They can't really see what they're firing at, unfortunately. I thought maybe they'd be able to get a better view. But I'm going to try and just shoot into the side of these garrisons of the Hornburg. Try and weaken them a little bit. Try and do some damage. Because, yeah, it's turning into a bit of a grind fest just charging up here. So much so that I actually set out a secondary force here. I've got Berserkers, Urukai Infantry, my General, some other stuff, some like crossbows. And I'm going to just go up the ramp and start a second assault over here. Because I was like, screw going up this one choke point when there's another one that's open. And undefended at the moment. I wasn't aware that it was undefended. I guessed it probably was because looking at numbers, there's 600 like Rohirrim left, and they are all about gathered over here at this one point right now. 600 to take on 4,000. It's gonna be tough, that is for sure. You wonder whether they should really retreat to one of these gatehouses at some point, make it even tougher. But I'm not sure. I don't know if it makes it really much tougher. But I guess maybe pathfinding would be a problem for the Uruks. But yeah, Theoden's actually gonna ride out like he does in the film. He's like, ride out with me, one last time. And he's getting ready. He's gonna go out. He's gonna take some spears with him as well, by the looks of it, early men at arms. He's gonna try and mow down some of these Uruks. And there's actually another second wave on its way as well to come around this way. I guess they're just sick and tired of having to deal with that one choke point that the garrison of the Hornburg and the Guard of the Golden Hall are defending so efficiently. But here we go. Theoden's on his way, and I was surprised to see this. I was like, oh god, no, not my berserkers, not my like swords and everything over here. So I was like, run, get the berserkers back, sacrifice the swords, and in they go. Yeah, just mowing my guys down. It's such a sad sight. I was like, no. My spears are here, my half-orc spears. Hopefully they'll get some kills in Theoden, who is a knight of the House of Earl. I'm now also counter-charging with the Uruks, so I hopefully get some kills here. We'll see, though. I mean, this is a healthy Theoden unit. Yeah, he lost 5 men, which is a good start. I've got those crossbows as well, which also need to be used to protect, or like needs to be used to and protect it. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, another charge there into the side of the Uruks. Yeah, Theoden's bodyguard always starting to get chopped down a little bit. 54. I mean, he's just getting stuck in combat, unfortunately. I think he's going to come for my crossbows here. Yeah, my crossbows. He's found a way around and he's going to get to them. But yeah, he's getting shot down by other crossbows. He charged into the spears as well. He might break them. They're a weak unit. 45 of them left. But it certainly did a lot of damage to him. He's down to 46. He's being chased by like pikes and crossbows. You could get to these berserkers over here. It's a healthy 90-man unit, or 90 Uruks. There's more crossbows over there, but yeah, already Theoden's regretting his decision, I think, to charge out. But here we go. In goes Theoden. Take on these berserkers. They're counter-charging, which is a bad idea. And yeah, he's just gonna mow them down. Should get a decent amount of kills. Should the Theoden unit. But he is starting to die pretty quickly now. And that might actually be a problem, because Theoden's army is basically the one holding that little slope over there. Army losses could come into effect there as well. We have got Garrison the Hornburg as well that shifted over here. Theoden's not yet died, but he's probably going to here, I think, as he charges into a whole host of crossbows. And there you go. He's routed. Whether he's dead, I'm not so sure. But we have now got a push going up the slope here. And we have got spears and archers waiting inside that gatehouse. There you go. There they appear. Garrison the Hornburg. They're going to try and hold this line here. They're a solid unit. They'll hold the line against these stormers, especially since they're weakened stormers as well. And this is a pretty epic view. I do like this one. Like, you see like the Rohirrim just sallying out, trying to hold their gate. It's kind of like in the movies again. You have like Aragorn like tossing Gimli around the side. It's like, you got to toss me. You cannot tell the elf. So many great like quotes from this battle. But yeah, we'll certainly have to do this this at least to Helm's Deep one more time when we have the new map. I'll be very excited to see. I think it's going to be not so lore accurate and a little bit more just balanced from what I've heard. So, which will make it interesting. We'll make it hopefully a very replayable siege map. So we might not be the last time we ever see Helm's Deep, but certainly be the last time for a little while that I'll do an actual Helm's Deep scenario. But who knows? If I get sent like a really good one, I might just cover it. It's always a tough one to balance though, because people want to do it historically, and the cav always, I feel like, it's countered because everyone knows it's coming. So it gets countered in some way. Someone puts a pike in the choke point, so he just gets nullified, and they get everything inside. We tried to allow the cav to have some joy in this one, let them mow down some Uruks and actually have some like achievement. And maybe they should have come a little bit earlier, but it's also got to be done at like. The problem is, it's got to be done like late enough that it's kind of like gives the Uruks a chance to like actually get inside and make a push here. Like not now. I mean, I guess you could do it now, but the thing is, like, all these guys that instead of just attacking this choke point, they would be probably defending against the choke point. But yeah, it's like the problem is everyone knows the cav's coming, so everyone wants to counter it. So it never really does like as much as it could. Maybe we could have made the elves again a little bit stronger, or maybe like not weaken Rohan as much. Because we did weaken them a fair amount because they had a lot. The first time around they had so much up this winding road. Just defending here. But I think it also just comes down to players. Comes down massively comes down to players on if they're gonna play it like competitively or like more like role play like. Because if you play it competitively, like Rohan is a tough nut to like get out of this fortress. I mean, also if you were playing it competitively and not roleplay, you wouldn't let the elves all die down here. You'd have them on the second wall, and you have them like spamming out their archers. Because the elves, like, let them bring all the archers. Screw that. Screw them doing anything else. Maybe some shock infantry. But yeah, because I guess the elves don't have it. Because Rohan doesn't have any, but bar that, let Rohan just worry about the infantry. Even if it's trash, they can bring a lot of it. They are slowly pushing back these Rohirrim from the gate. They were like outside the gate. Now they're, well, like in the middle of it at the moment. They're slowly getting pushed back. But there's about 8 minutes left of this siege battle. So yeah, as you can tell, the battle is kind of over. It's 4,000 versus 500. I feel like they've done a decent amount of damage though. Has Rohan. It wasn't like like really one-sided, but like certainly the first part of the battle I found the most exciting because you're fighting for that deeping wall and like you're losing a lot as the Uruks, and you're just like, we just need to get in, and if once we're in, it turns in favor of the Uruks, especially with some of the rules that are in place. But yeah, it's been a fun one, this for sure. Like I said, it's just a nightmare to balance. I mean, if we did it like more regularly, we probably could balance even more. I mean, what I do differently is probably give them a couple more retainers, a few less mustard units, and maybe another elven archer, maybe one more. We did reduce them quite a few from the last time we did it. But I think I return one of their elven archers so they can focus the unit down, like keep focusing stuff down. But also I think it came down to the player as well. The first person that played the elven team like held the walls with their shock infantry and put them all up on here and just cut stuff down. Second one kind of sent some up after a while and they did pretty well. But yeah, by that point the Uruks were fairly well established on the wall, so it didn't really matter at that point. But yeah, I'm just going to fast forward at this point because we are just really waiting on we're just waiting on these units to break. I'm desperately still trying to fire my crossbows, I think, over here, trying to hit some stuff. Really not doing anything. The crossbows, that's also the problem with Helm's Deep and for Isengard. They don't really have like lots of archers or good archers. So the crossbows, they're pretty good for this deeping wall once you get up here and you're firing down. After that, useless. They are basically just like infantry with a bunch of ammo, which they're gonna like struggle to use. I mean, you could argue and say, well, they could just set up in a choke point, start firing across. Yeah, you probably could do that. But the thing is, Rohan, if they wanted to, they could just charge out and just scare the crossbows out. And it's a bit of a grindy way to go about it. It would eventually work because I guess you could just keep baiting Rohan out the choke points with your crossbows to keep charging you, and you just counter charge him. But it would take forever. It's certainly a really long and arduous way to go about it. So yeah, it is very, very tough for Isengard on the attack on this one, and certainly is as well for Rohan. I think it's tough for both sides in various different aspects. But yeah, like I think it's much easier for Isengard as the siege goes on and they get inside. If they get inside, like the first time we did it, I'm pretty sure I got mowed down at this wall by the elven archers. It was brutal. So yeah, once we then got inside, we had no swords to like break through, and like Rohan had so much left. So yeah, we kind of, that's why we changed it. And also it didn't help that people crashed. I mean, it would have been cool to see Rohan win, but it just meant like Isengard had to like really try hard to try and like get back into the game. But yeah, as you can see here, I mean, it's just a slow grind. I mean, Isengard's just trying to get his pikes set up. I mean, I think they're sort of set up, but I'm really not sure. It is hard to tell in this mass down here, but it doesn't look like they're doing like a proper pike phalanx, which is possibly why they're struggling a little bit more. And these units are still combat even. They have general debt. I'm surprised they haven't like routed from army losses yet, but maybe, I don't know, maybe like you get a massive like morale boost from having like holding the Hornburg. I really don't know. But over on this side here, you can see it looks like as well like Isengard's holding for that, like breaking through. Rohan's holding. The Garrets and the Hornburg, though, they are not going to be able to hold forever. Put it like that. At least I imagine if they could. Imagine if they could hold forever in this choke point. Looks like, in fact, we're going to see. Looks like Isengard's trying to pull through with his pikes here. He needs to be careful of doing that. That is cheating. But I know some people, I think, were keen to get the siege over and done with. We knew what the result was going to be. Pikes? No, they got their pikes down now. Definitely, they got their pikes down now. They're definitely doing some damage, I can imagine. They need to keep doing pike push their way back up the slope. But yeah, there's still some reserves as well out here. Still some healthy berserkers and like Uruk-hai infantry. Maybe they're not pushing through or pulling through. Looks like they would just maybe did pike push. Maybe it forced them forward. I don't know. They still haven't really got their pikes down on this side here either. It's hard to tell. Let me turn around. I don't know which is the better angle. Yeah. neither really at this gate. This gate is actually so dark. They haven't really got their pikes down, is what I'm trying to say. They've also still got swords lingering back here. Have Isengard. We're actually seeing a retreat in units over here. Isengard could retreat some stuff, maybe try and do a fresh assault. I don't know. Shot these guys down. The ballistic tower still firing in here, snatching away at a few Uruk-hai lives, which is another problem when you get to that final stand as well, or to this to the Hornburg. There are still like the archer towers you got to deal with. So yeah, I mean, there's only one, but it's good. It's a problem still nonetheless, and you have to capture the other side. So it's Rohan's got a few little tricks up his sleeve if he wanted to use them. Which is why I'm surprised they hold this winding road as much as they do. I mean, it kind of works. I mean, like War of Attrition, but honestly, get back to this this gatehouse. It is so tough to take. And you put archers on the walls, just fire down. You have like a guard golden hole in the breach point. You have the archer tower here that just can't miss, just keeps killing every single like Uruk that comes up. Well, you can see the dark mass of pikes has got in just about inside the gate now. They are making progress. I don't know if this is just because of mass or actually we were winning. But there is a lot of Uruks right now just pressing back these guards. Not guards golden hall, the garrison of the Hornburg. I'm mixing the two up now. Yeah, there's actually pulling through now taking place. There's like a thin line of garrison of the Hornburg here. Still holding on. So yeah, these guys need to be careful. This is pulling through in my opinion. But hey, it's the end of the battle. I think the Rohan's is going to lose anyway. I mean, they actually just lost their garrison, the Hornburg, I think, over here. They routed, no, Garden Goal Halls was routed, 19 men. Oh, if the other ones routed at that sort of level, that's going to be insane. Garrison, the Hornburg actually are going to retreat. They're going to leave their early men at arms and their, looks like a sword thane, and there, or an early retainer, I think it might be, in fact. Yeah, this garrison, the Hornburg, I think it's going to maybe try and retreat, because they can see the pikes coming through, and they just want to try and like defend their final point, defend the halls here of Helm's Deep, and inside I guess is like the women and children that are hiding. Actually, there's a fair amount of kids out here that probably got killed. I mean, you got to remember that a lot got conscripted in this battle. Yeah, Pike's losing though. This is from pulling through, I think. So I'm just gonna fast forward now at this point. I think the battle's just about over. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. It has certainly been an interesting one. It's always fun to do Helm's Deep, and what a way to start the year, you know. Second day into the year, and we've got a glorious Helm's Deep battle. If you're not watching this in January and you're watching it like, I don't know, mid-September, well, fair enough. I hope you're having a great 2023, or whatever year you're watching this in. Maybe you're watching in 2035. At that point, I don't know, or maybe at 10k subs at that point. But yeah, Uruks here. They're about to, I guess they might engage. I don't know if the garrison's even inclined to. No, they're running the other way. I mean, some of them are going to get caught here. Yeah, the pikes. Never seen a pike charge like this, but there you go. There's been some weird stuff in this siege, that is for sure. But there you go. Keep poking away, boys. Actually, they managed to get out with no casualties, I think, in that like little engagement there. The garrison Hornburg. Oh no, I take it back. Oh no, he killed the Uruk. This guy's an absolute legend. I name you Steve, sir. Fight on, Steve. Oh, he looks like he might get out of there. Lucky man. Look at him. What a champ. He's actually running alongside the Uruks as he runs back inside. And yeah, this is the final stand here by the garrison of Hornburg. I think everything else is just about to break. Yeah, army losses are coming into effect a little bit. The gate's still holding, though. Steve's leading the way. He's actually leading his the Uruks to his comrades. He's like, come on, follow me. Come and die at the hands of our garrison of the Hornburg. These guys are a really good hybrid unit. They've got the axe and the shield. They can hold for a while, but there isn't much left to this siege battle. So I have a feeling army losses, like I said, starting to finally come into effect as these pikes just charge in. That was an actual charge with the pike. It's hilarious. And there you go. They routed almost instantly. An Pyrrhic victory for Isengard. They did lose. I think they came out with less than 3,000 men remaining. So yeah, it was a rough fight, that is for sure, for the attackers, but the defenders didn't just have quite enough. But they did a good job. They did a really, really good job. I mean, Jaximus, who was playing as the elves, getting 253 kills with Haldir. Most of his shock getting like over 200 kills, 213 the best. 260 in fact, even better. This one got 42, but part of that, most of them did really well. Polearms, I mean, one got 59, but the other got 213 kills, and his archers all getting like 200 plus kills, which is why I was limiting them, but maybe one more might have been just alright. Then we have Mythic playing as Theoden's army, getting 248 with his King of Theoden, Knights of the House of Earl General. Did very well for that sally out there. His Sword Thane's getting 170. This shows even the lower tier swords, they still rack up kills in this this map. 193 kills with the Erling Retainers there. His Erling Men at Arms 175, actually outscoring the better Guard of the Golden Hall there, who got 112. His Yeoman of the Mark 206. So getting on the levels of like elven like kills there with their archers. That's incredible. And then you've got Garrus of the Hornburg here getting 360 kills, 613, and this is still healthy, this unit. So that was probably going on to at least 7, maybe even 800. That's incredible. That shows like how painful like these elite units can be in these siege battles. And then we got Zach, who was playing as Aemir's army. He had like a small mustered army that was like to represent the conscript troops, and also he has Aemir's like reinforcements. He has 260 kills with Aemir there, very nicely done. 138 with his Sword Thanes. Most of his mustered stuff not getting much kills. His mustered archers getting 86 kills though. His Arid of the Westfold 138 kills. His Arid of the Eastfold 181, 152. His Rise of Rohan getting 164, 166. His Knights of the Mark getting 360, and his Knights of the House of Earl getting 193 and 324. So actually reading these kills, they actually did a good amount of like damage, and just unfortunately just not enough. I guess they did kind of run out of cav as well as it went on. They just like lost momentum and lost a fair amount of cav to things like pikes and stuff like that. But yeah, I was playing as one of the Isengard armies. I got 206 kills with one of my Uruk-hai infantry, 103 with the Wyvern Stormer, and then much of the rest of my army, 197 with the Uruk-hai crossbow. Much of the rest of my army didn't really get much action. A raider there with 137, but yeah, nothing much else, getting plus 100. Cyrus, who actually lost a good amount of his army in this fight, getting 104 kills with the Uruk raiders there. And then his Uruk-hai infantry 117. Stormer there getting 141 kills. Berserker getting 81 kills, and his crossbows getting 174. Yeah, not like masses of kills here for the Isengard teams. And then we have Omens here playing as another Uruk army. 112 kills with his Uruk-hai infantry, losing a lot of his army actually. He came out with basically nothing left. 371 kills with a crossbow is incredible. Berserker getting 175. Pike's getting 141 is not bad either. His Cav getting 96 kills, which is pretty good because it was fighting against like much superior Rohirrim. And then we've got his Grenadiers getting 87 kills. Then we have Roza playing as the final Isengard army. His crossbows, yeah, not getting many kills. His Sappers getting 58 kills. Uruk-hai archers getting 116, 106. And then his pikes not doing too much. His Uruk-hai infantry getting 200 kills and 122 with the other one there. But there you go, guys. That is the Battle of Helm's Deep today. I hope you did enjoy with the new Elven the new Elven faction as well. So we can now do like actual like movie-esque Helm's Deep battles, which is awesome. So we can have Lothlorien and Rohan there and Isengard. But maybe we'll do some Helm's Deeps with some different factions. Maybe we'll have like the dwarves defending it, or like have like the Eastlings attack. Who knows? If you'd like to see some like weird, wacky, like custom Helm's Deep battles, do let me know. But until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.